Hello and welcome to Heroes of History. This time we're setting focus on King Minos, the last 4-star that is in the game, and then I've completed the collection of all 4 stars and presented them all to you. There will only be new 4 stars when the game gives us more. Now after this I will go for the 5 stars, but first let's wrap up King Minos, which I only got recently, so he's pretty new to me and not that great. As you can see, he has the same attack and defense and somewhat ordinary hit points. That will be a drawback for him. I want the stats here. You can see normal damage, normal attack speed, his melee, his medium movement speed, and crit chance is 5%, and no evasion, and 150% in crit damage. Now his ability is what's interesting. He taunts, he shields, he buffs. He pounds his chest, taunting his enemies for 5 seconds. So he's a sort of Bismarck guy. He's getting 1110% of defense as a shield. This will become somewhat better after, I awaken him a few times, and increasing defense by 6% plus 2% for 8 seconds. So he'll even get better at defending himself, and if I further develop this skill from 11 and further up, he will even be better defensive bonuses. Now he'll get a lot better with time. Defense plus 6 if I can awaken only once. Even his focus regeneration will get faster, so he will cast more often than every, 15 seconds. Initial charge is only 4 seconds though. Another 12% defense and another 20% defense, 38% in total and 20% hit point. So he will become quite an incredible tank. But he isn't really now, so don't be too harsh on him when I finish this video and wrap up what I think of him, and I'll try to keep that in mind as well, because he will not excel. He is simply not awoken enough for that, but he should still be able to do some pretty cool stuff. Now let's see here, let's see him taunt them all and move over there, giving everyone some breathing space. But with 15 seconds up to the next level, that's gonna be some time before he can do that again. Especially if he throws this a second time before it comes to the second wave, then we'll be in somewhat trouble. And that's the downside of letting this run on auto battle. But we should be fair to him as well as to everyone else. So, he can't have special privileges. As you can see here, they're hitting them pretty hard over here. That was a good save by the bell by that healing power there, but I still think we'll lose to Moa now. And if he isn't giving himself his shield, that's a mighty shield. Now he won't take damage for a while, and with everyone else chipping in, he'll do just fine for the next wave. Let's see, we can even kill everyone before next wave, so I guess we'll pretty much home safe by now, because in a short moment everyone will turn their attention to him and maybe even kill him. But let's see, even the shield help from Louis XIV will take a little, but oh my god, he's dying fast. There's a lot of units hitting him at the same time, and no one else in close range to take over at the time he finally is relieved of his taunt. Now this will only be a minor 2-star, unless, Louis XIV make it to dying. That's saved by the bell, I think. So that's rather close to only get a 1-star, but again, he is, quite fundamental, so not to keep it against him, but look at the stats now. Let's see here. Come on, there we go. Now let's continue to the second battle and see if he and do a better job in preserving himself. A three-wave battle is not really an easy task for a hero, well, with quite a long waiting time between ability usage. Now with only 2 waves here, but well, his ability cooldown is rather long, so it will be held against him, and without all the extra defensive points that he will get with more awakening levels, well, he will be quite basic still, though he will probably do quite alright anyway. And well, there we go, and he's decently on the way for the next ability uses. I hope it's enough to save Tomoe this time, because we really want her ability to area damage, and we really want it a lot, because well, it just ends the battles way faster when she can area damage like crazy, and now they're standing close together. Even Qin Shi Huang can help them out with getting even more healing, and well, I think this is going to be a safe 3-star. And well, yeah, his ability usage was way better composed to win the battle. Let's look at the stats now. There we go. Pretty decent so far, so let's continue to the third fight. And there it is, continue, and well, charts. It's a 3-wave battle, so there's a decent chance it'll repeat the same issues that we had in the first rounds. Well, that's not exactly perfect, but well, let's see if we can manage somehow in a decent way. Well, if this area damage can kill them all, well, Minos will have his ability usage early in the next wave, which will improve our chances quite a lot on succeeding the third wave too, because with everyone around here, well, Tomoe Gosen has a decent chance to throw a massive area damage in a moment, and that should hopefully help us. Oh, it didn't have enough area to cover. That's an issue. Let's see if we can manage still. It seems so. Now it attracts his attention and uses his shield to keep us alive. I think that's going to be decent still. I think we might have a decent chance for a 3-star, though there's still 40% of the enemies left. Well, that's quite a lot of damage that I need to be able to take, so, oh, well, Tomoe died. Well, really quick as always. So, that's never great once it attracts attention, but on the other hand, I don't think King Minos can have survived it either. So it's, well, that was sort of a death trap. Now we rely on Qin Shi Huang to actually win this battle, and well, I'm afraid that's another star going away. Of course, King Minos will be way better if I could just awaken him 5 times. And there we go, a sulky 1-star win. Let's see the stats here. Now let's continue to the next wave here. Our next battle, rather. Let's jump to this one and see how he does here. And let's go. It's a 2-wave battle. Then we might get a 3-star if it isn't too much different from battle number 2. And this battle should prove somewhat good for King Minos, because that's a battle he actually can excel in. Oh, don't do that. And come on, give it the hit. There we go. and a heal from that nice little bird. It's nice. Oh, that's going to be a long time before he will attract the attention in the next wave. This will cost us very massively, I'm afraid. Oh, well. Yeah, well, he made to use his power once, but he never made it to the second time. The King Minos almost dies before he uses his power himself. There's a great chance he'll die too. That's really bad. That's I think we're gonna be lucky if we have a 2-star out of this. Well, maybe now with a good chance we'll get that 2-star, but still, that's not great. That's really sad in a lot of ways. At least twice awakening would help a great deal on that ability to be reused. Now let's look at the battle stats here. Now let's take this final battle and conclude on how good he is. Though I think he has done, well, quite poorly so far. But again, that's also because he is so far behind in awakening. With a lot larger shield produced every time, and even having it getting out there a lot more often is, well, it will be a boon for him. And as you can see here, if the shield has come again quite a lot faster, Tomo might even have been living, and furthermore, a bigger shield would have kept himself alive a lot longer also. As well as 20% extra health would also keep him alive longer. So there's a lot of things here that will really speak to his benefits if I can pull him a few more times in the following anti-meta pulls I do somewhere in the future. Now let's look at the stats one final time here. A poor 2-star here. That was we ended up with. Now let's look at it collectively. This is the closest similarities, as only Otto and Bismarck is changed from this formation to this formation. And well, as you can see, King Minos, even though he died a lot of time, actually gave more damage than Bismarck does. So that's a plus thing. Though his attack won't increase with the awakenings, it still is a good thing. If he can survive the entire battle, he will actually end up doing a lot more damage than Bismarck does on a personal level. As you can see, Tomo Gosen will die really quickly, almost half. Well, her ability in the battle to procure damage, it's been absorbed by Louis and Kenshi Huang. Well, even Ashoka the Great has done a lot more damage. In the area of absorbing damage, well, King Minos had taken a lot of damage. Well, some of it would be less if he had a bigger shield and even more defense, especially from the awakening. A lot more defense, also producing a lot more shield, and staying in the battle longer, he will also be able to absorb more damage from your enemies. So he will win over Bismarck in that matter, I think, when he finally has more defensive value than Otto Bismarck has. Tomo Gosen has taken a lot extra damage because there was no run around to protect her, as well as Louis XIV. See, it's insane, it's almost 10 times as much. And they even made it to Kenshi Huang, which they didn't ever do with Otto von Bismarck. So in some ways I would love to make another test with King Minos when he gets better, but well, the time isn't there for that. We can even see here in the healing area here that Kenshi Huang actually do more healing. And the same does Ashoka the Great, actually a great deal more healing, because there's so much more to keep up keep up the heroes in the battle and keep them in the fight, because, well, with the 2 heroes dying quite early on, well, the last 3 has to win the battle, so they need to be kept alive for them to do that and to finally do the damage. It prolongs the battle quite a great deal, and with quite longer battles, it will turn out this way. Do I think King Minos is a good guy? Well, I think he'll be good, especially when I get him awoken a few more times. I think he will be better than Bismarck, but right now, at this stage, he is not better than Bismarck. If you have a fully fledged setup on Bismarck, I will prefer him over King Minos any day. I'll say thank you for watching this video.